Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, May 4, 2024, till after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Without this great, deep, eternal love flowing in our lives, we remain dumb and numb to our highest spiritual path and life purpose. We feel lost, empty, and lonely without it. We cannot imagine that there is a gold mine of greatness buried inside. All it takes is a little digging into our emotional being underneath the fears, doubts, and worries. With a small shovel of curiosity, we can find an amazing love at the core. This is the real gold when we're willing to stop playing with the fool's gold in our lives. The best things in this life begin manifesting. What is real gold is that which will never change. What's the only thing that we know of that will never change? Ever. There's only one thing. And what is the only thing that is real? Well, the answer to both of those questions is the God within you, the divine perfection, of which we all are. One might say, well, you need to tell me that everything other than the God that I am isn't real? No, it isn't. It's an illusion created by our consciousness, our pure consciousness, which some people call God. Do we change? Does the God that we are within these bodies change? No. The only thing that's real is the only thing that doesn't change. Well, how does it progress? Well, we obtain as gods higher levels of divine perfection. That's what we do. So you might say this is, as we know, this is all created by us, for us, through the universe and us, the gods that we are, to experience. Behind everything, behind the eyes in these bodies, behind the ego mind, is the God that you are, watching. Total liberation is not very far away. It is just hidden behind you, ocean. We kind of skim the surface through life. Darting here, darting there, in here, out there. Many of us get caught up in the rush. And the rush is what? Well, we call it a rat race because, like I said, if you've ever seen rats in colonies, you see how they move. Okay? They don't, most of them, very rarely do you see them stray, any of them stray. They all move together in a pack. They're all sniffing and moving, constantly moving. And when you look at the civilization on this planet, and you're outside, and you're looking, not judging, but watching, you can see this. You can see it. It's a mad rush to get where? Somewhere. Where? Do they even know? Maybe, few. Usually what is it? Well, within the matrix, it's that you've got to get somewhere to be someone. Right? You got to get somewhere to be someone. And our society basically dictates this. So, well, you've got to do this, 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 and this in order to have this, 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 and this. And there's no guarantees anyway that you will have this, 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 and this. we have all these questions that we ask ourselves. It usually comes sometime in these lives that we are currently engaged with. Sooner or later, for most of us, we start asking questions like with ourselves. You know, how many people have said, have you experienced, why am I here? It's like, what do you mean, why are you here? You're here to enjoy life. Got to be more than that. I know I'm here to do great things. I just don't know what they are. You're a great thing now, exactly as you are. You don't have to do anything to be a great thing. See, and we're taught that you have to do that. And you've got to accomplish a lot of things, and you've got to really do things in order to be admired. And the funny thing is, what does that need to be admired? No mind. Do you have that need in the heart mind? No, it's not even there. It doesn't exist. And one might ask, okay, so how can we be enlightened? How can we be enlightenment and we don't know that we're enlightenment? You know, a lot of people will think that, you know, it's some kind of fairy tale experience or something just meant for a few special sacred people on this planet. What it means is it's the highest peak of our consciousness. That's what it is. The highest peak of our consciousness. And it is available to all beings in every moment. It is a genuinely grounded spiritual experience which transforms all the soul, sour lemons in our lives into the most succulent, sweet lemonade. It is what lifts the veil, blinding us from the truth, allowing us to see just how magnificent we all truly are. Now, maybe yourself or others, you know, that you come across. Yeah, they make comments like, you know, they don't feel like, wow, I don't have what you have, and I can't do what you do, and, you know, I wish I could, and what is that all about? Where is that all coming from? Well, programming, conditioning, different perspectives, how people, you know, taught you, what they said to you, what they shared with you through your life to date, and continue to do so. I get a lot of emails from people that they say they're lonely. They're alone. You don't like being alone. And we kind of miss the target on that because we're never alone. You're really not. But if you're too immersed in the material physical, you're going to experience this feeling of being alone. All right? Now, when you really sit with yourself in meditation, you begin to realize, okay, so everything around you and the God that is with you all the time, 24/7, always, and the universe. How could anybody feel alone? It's a different, you know, there's a lot of people that feel lonely or alone because they don't know who and what they are. They don't have that comfort of knowing through the heart mind that they're never alone. And in these bodies, we're social creatures. Whether you're not social or you prefer to be by yourself, and there's people that prefer to be by themselves. They enjoy it. Okay? Then there's other people that can't stand to be by themselves. In fact, they'll go out and initiate a relationship just because there's a body and they're not alone. That doesn't mean that they're intimately connected with that being, right? But yet it fulfills something with them that they feel that there's an emptiness, and so this being fills that emptiness. So then they equate that as being not alone anymore. You could go out and you could be with a bunch of people, right? Maybe you've experienced this, maybe not. So you go out with a bunch of people and they're talking, you kind of reflect within, and you say to yourself, why do I feel alone? I'm around all these people. Okay, well, I'll go home alone, I'll go to bed alone, I'll wake up alone. But see, that is society, human psyche, influence. Because then when you begin to understand that there's no way possible that you would ever be alone. Zero. No way at all. It can't, it just, we have all that we will ever need. And see, but this is what happens. Since we don't know ourselves, and really, that we don't love ourselves, then it's very difficult for us to consummate any type of interrelation with someone else. Even though we do, not to say we don't, but that's why we have so much turmoil in relationships on this planet. Not just in this country, but all over the world. Why is that? Why is that conflict there? That we do that, right? And it just depends. It just takes a while, or maybe it takes a short period of time, and you go, this isn't what I want. But yet, it's what you thought you wanted. And it's the main reason that a lot of us get in conflict with one another, in relationships, for instance, is because our relationship with ourselves and the attachment that we have with that other being. See, we become attached. What is that? Where does the attachment come from? Ego mind. Not heart mind. No way heart mind. Ego mind. So isn't it true that we get attached? Sure, we get attached. You might be with your beloved and you don't feel to be separate away from them. That's definite attachment. Or you might get nervous if they are not within your presence or they're out somewhere else. The ego mind. Start conjuring up all kinds of things. Ego mind. What's the difference between that and heart? Heart mind is totally different. And it sounds strange to people. One might say, well, you got to be attached to somebody if you love them. No, why? Why? Everything's temporary. 30, 40, 50 years, it's all temporary. You enjoy it. You embrace it. You're deeply grateful for it. But you know that it is not forever. You just know that. And so your attachment, that's in yesterday and tomorrow. Most relationships on this planet live in yesterday or tomorrow, not the now. They don't exist in the now. Isn't that wild? Now, you imagine when we do, because we will, every one of us eventually, will exist in the now, will live in the now. And that's for both parties in a relationship, because in the now, there's no conflict. There really isn't. Okay? You're not projecting tomorrow or an hour from now or a minute from now or 20 minutes from now. You're not projecting into the past anymore. You don't have the mind chatter. You don't have the ego mind there. It's a whole different experience. And it's a much more brighter, uplifting experience. Ask yourself, when is the last time that you were completely open and available to every experience this life gives you? All of them, no matter what they are. Okay? When was the last time? Knowing that each experience is always the right experience for you. And once we discover that we are enlightened beings, excuse me, there will be no such thing as a wrong experience. This universe is the most intelligent teacher there is. And it never, ever, ever makes a mistake. This universe is the grand weave of perpetual spiritual synchronicity and our karmic destiny. All of us are this timeless perfection of wild conscious creativity and action, always co-creating a synchro-destined harmonious play between mind, matter, and spirit. How could this omniscient perfection ever make a mistake or even entertain the idea of what a mistake might be like? Doesn't. Now, if we were to all just step back and look at our world from the highest, most heavenly space, which means the God deep within you, it appears that we are this great symphony of souls all working together to reach a higher and higher and higher states of consciousness. Now, on top of that, of course, we're all these separate beings with unique minds, hearts, and individual lives. Yet, this separating aspect is not the biggest truth. The greatest truth is that we are intimately connected with everything and everyone else, and this intimately connected in this entire universe. In the quiet time of this meditation, you may want to ask, right? How this vibrates with you, you know. And if you're able to surrender to this larger truth, weaving it throughout your day, our day, all of us, the most tantalizing and enlightening moments will just magically show up. We will be able to feel the presence of something much larger than ourselves, guiding us to a more joyous state of being. We naturally become more sensually available to all the pleasure and joy we're here to experience in this deliciously exquisite existence. Now, is it that way right now? Well, in some maybe some areas fleeting, but it's not a constant. We've been taught to believe that, well, it's not supposed to be a constant. It's supposed to be just every now and then. No, it's supposed to be a constant. It's really opening ourselves up, totally, being vulnerable. See, because whenever we are deeply surrendered to this life, life surrenders to us. Have you done that? Have you experienced certain spurts of it where you did that, where you just said, okay, universe, it's all yours, baby. It's yours. Okay. I surrender it. I'm letting it go. So by being radically open, raw, naked, and deeply willing to receive whatever the divine existence is offering us in each moment, enlightenment must pour into us. It simply has no other choice. When we completely empty out our cup, guess what? This universe has to fill it. The result is a truly intimate connection with this divine intelligence. And an abundance of the richest manifesting energy radiating from our core. By living each moment from this raw, open, vulnerable place, we can become unstoppable in everything and anything that we do. Now, this is a roadmap for all of us. Whenever we are deeply surrendered to this life, life surrenders to us. We immediately feel this humble yet empowering connection with everything and everyone. Right now, in this very moment. Do you have that feeling? Are you experiencing it? Are you deeply surrendered to this life? Has life surrendered to you? Do you feel this humble yet empowering connection with everything and everyone? Are you experiencing no more feelings of lack, unworthiness, or separation with who you are? There's also no need to become someone powerful, superior, and special, so that we cover up that unconscious, insecure self who feels inferior. We can allow all our darker parts to be seen, felt, and heard. See, now, ask yourself this question. This is a quote from Osho. Can you, right? Can you, number one, are you willing to, do you want to, experience life in all possible ways? Good, bad, bittersweet, dark, light, summer, winter. Experience all the dualities. Do not be afraid of experience, because the more experience you have, the more mature you become, Osho. Allow the totality of your darkness and divinity to be revealed. And the darkness, I'm not saying that it's, boogeyman type stuff and macabre, right? Although there are some that do exude that. As we start feeling into exposing, honoring, and welcoming all our dark and bright parts, we spend less energy controlling, holding back, hiding and trying to contain our wild brilliance. You ever feel like that? You ever feel like you're holding back? It doesn't necessarily mean that you identify what it is you're holding back. That's part of getting to know yourself. And then if you do feel you're holding back, then you ask yourself, why am I holding this back? And when you hold something back, what happens? There's pressure there. You can feel it. It's kind of It's a pressure. It's kind of strange feeling. Now, within this relaxation, our full divine nature can spring forth and shower upon this world. How often are you spontaneous? Right? Are you one who plans and structures and got to have everything in place? Or are you spontaneous? Are you creative? Are you fully self-confident? And can you access your core life energy? Naturally, we find ourselves resting and abiding in our spiritual essence, which does not judge or condemn anything or anyone, as it is the source of love itself. The most spiritually expansing, loving, healing, and magical experiences in this life instantly start manifesting when we take the risk to look within, be honest, vulnerable, and real with who we think we are. You know what that means? That means that we take off all our masks. All of them. We remove all our masks with everyone in our lives. We drop all our perceived burdens. We shed our protective layers and become totally transparent with everyone in this world. Then, the supreme enlightened reality sneaks into us. Enlightened perception of life takes over our mind, creating an energetic merging with our ego and spiritual essence. And we feel this awesome, wholesome love for ourselves and others everywhere we go. And to be fearless and unraveling and exposing our most enlightened and horrific selves, we must be able to relax, truly be at okay with every good and bad idea that passes through our mind and emotions. We must choose not to get stuck on anything. You become like, Teflon, where, everything slides off. All thoughts slide off. They just... We cannot take anything that is revealed personally. Okay? Cannot take anything that is revealed personally. As every idea, concept that we have about who we are was handed down to us, programmed in our subconscious mind from our parents, siblings, teachers, society, and the many generations who were before them. This is why in these meditations, being as still as a statue, in a relaxed, comfortable space for your body, closing your eyes, resting in silence and stillness of the mind. Ironically, the cause of our enlightenment and what's blocking us from experiencing it is the same thing. It's our mind. Why is that? Why is that with all of us that way? Because we never leave the mind alone. We are always in yesterday and tomorrow. That's where the ego mind masters us. That's why. Now, there's so many of us that don't even realize that it's our mind. Now, you may say to yourself, that you feel that you're ready, right? That you will transcend the mind. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter that you will transcend the mind, dropping any attachment that you have to it. And the brilliant light of our being can then shine through. And this brilliance is all we can see in every direction. Now, of course, a mind is essential for us to adventure into this great journey, into spiritual liberation. Yet we first need to understand what the mind actually is, so that one day we can become free from it. How do we do that? We watch it. We leave it alone. How do you leave the mind alone? Meditation. Like we do every day. That's how you leave the mind alone. You focus on the breath rising and falling, and you're focused on leaning into your body, relaxing into your body, and being very still. And it's very quiet, and that's where the peace seeps in. Now, when you start to watch your mind, which you will do, you do that in your meditation. You watch it because you're not engaging it. You'll notice it's always striving, judging, analyzing, and needing to achieve something. Does the mind say, "Oh, I'm going to lay on the couch, take a break for a few years"? No. You may have lived your entire life so far completely wrapped up in the head. Okay? That's most of us. Which is always focusing on thoughts, concepts, right and wrong opinions, judgments, and belief systems. This is the true secret to remaining unenlightened. You want to be unenlightened? That's exactly what you do. As long as you're always up in the head thinking with your brain, running the show, and the rest of your heart, sex center, and physical sensual body is being ignored. That's one of the key issues on our planet right now in this very now moment. Right? Just what I said. See, as long as we're always up in the head thinking with our brains running the show and the rest of our heart, sex center, and physical sensual body is being ignored, we will stay unenlightened. This lifetime, other lifetimes after that. See, because here's confusing to people, because we, the gods that we are super enlightened beings. But when we are in these bodies, we don't know that. Most of the time we believe we're the body. So sooner or later, we're going to have a full body experience. Enlightenment. This means the whole body is engaged in experiencing this life. The whole body is engaged in experiencing this life. And not just the over-analytical mind. See, for any of us to step back from the mind requires total awareness. Every enlightened experience begins by first taking one step back from the mind, resting into a state of pure awareness. When you get to an understanding that you are an enlightened being, you will find yourself meditating more. See, an enlightenment seeker, right, seeking within the enlightenment that they truly are, meditates. And they don't do it not to control the mind, yet to transcend all thinking completely, calling forth the experience of total silence, stillness, pure awareness inside. These are all very impactful processes. Stillness creates an automatic letting go of the constant control, domination, and neediness of the mind. An automatic letting go. It is something that takes 100% of our devotion and dedication, as the mind is deeply addicted to the outer search. That's proven all the time, isn't it? Look throughout the ages. Just about everybody seeks outside of themselves, the outer world, believing this is the purpose of life. It will continuously try to fill your time on earth with new information, people, and special goodies out there, never questioning reality or what your heart or soul is really yearning for inside. A crucial understanding to enlightened stillness of mind is learning how to be 100% surrendered to this life. Not 20%, not 50%, not 80%, not 90%, 100% surrendered to this life. This comes from giving more energy towards that natural trusting feeling, and something bigger than you is running this entire show. The supreme God source and cosmic intelligence is very, very, very real and is always connected with our core essence. We're the God is us. We are a drop of water in the sweet cosmic ocean. We are not separate from that vast ocean, that sea of bliss, until we get caught in the mind and believe we are. When we rest in total stillness of the mind, we instantly dissolve back into the sea of bliss, find freedom within it all. Okay, now, you don't care to what? Trust the mind. Don't trust the mind or buy into its stories, because it will confidently lead you down one sure path and then switch the next day into following a completely different direction. You have experienced that? We all do. None of us are exempt from it. Trust the heart, not the mind. This is something that you can establish a mantra about. I trust my heart, not my mind. It's that simple. You feel those vibrational frequencies deep within yourself where you say, I trust my heart, not my mind. And then in this society, what do they tell you? Oh, you trust too much with your heart, right? You're too vulnerable, see? When we understand this completely, the heart lives in love and abides in a connection of oneness with this universe. This is the easiest doorway to enter the experience of enlightenment. Does the mind live in love? No, it's the opposite. Out there, out there, out there. And a biggie for all of us, trust 100% in yourself. This universe and in this sacred journey through life. Always being trusting, open and available to yourself. This universe and your life is no small matter. Accessing our full enlightened nature is so enormous that we must choose to expand beyond our old comfort zones and trust in something beyond the mind, beyond everything we know. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in from the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. The mind is always busy focusing on something. It is stuck in an automatic and unconscious perpetual shift of attention. It has been busy your whole life and desperately needs a vacation. So for today, sometime today, is to not focus on anything. If you want, get a timer, and for 3 minutes practice having no focus at all. To prepare yourself for this feat, it's best that you sit down, lean against the wall, relax every muscle in your body. Once your body is at ease, simply experience your own presence. If your mind starts to dream, think, and wander, reset the clock and start over. Do not push your attention on to or off of anything. The mind cannot focus on not focusing. Just be in a deep let go and surrender to your own presence. Be completely present to the presence side of you. Surrender to the continuous experience of your presence, and this universe will provide you with everything you've been searching for your entire life. Once you stop focusing completely for a few solid minutes, you will empty yourself out, be filled with the highest possible awareness you can imagine. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night. And the following morning, we will return here Sunday, May 5, 2024, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. Sit back, relax, and watch the magic come in.